name is Paul Johnston. I'm head of recording at MacEwan University, and we are in front of the recording studio A, 11006.
My name is Poyert Butler-Schneer. I also teach in the recording department at MacEwan, and we're excited to show you the studio today.
So here we are in the entranceway, which is called a sound lock, and this also has a patch bay, so it can be used as an isolation booth. And we're moving into the main recording room right here, where we have a Yamaha C7 piano and an assortment of drum kits and amplifiers and microphones.
In the program, I learned lots of working with other people and other musicians and making them feel comfortable, which is one of the most important things in a recording scenario is, you know, if the band is feeling good, you're going to get good results. And then all of the aspects of recording with editing, miking, mixing, all that kind of stuff. I really got to put that to work, especially with Paul outside of the program. He gave me lots of projects where I would take on the editing side, and which is one of the things I like to do now a lot, is edit a lot of people's music for them.
And if you walk in, it's a beautiful space. It's got a lot of different treatments. We have some walls with absorptive material and some walls with more reflective material. And it's really a versatile space. You also have two booths where you can isolate musicians, so one over here and one over here.
Learn from the people around you. Your instructors are wonderful and they have so much knowledge. Learn from them, ask them questions, ask to be a part of something, just take the step, be a sponge, you know?
This wall here is a spectral diffuser. It reflects frequencies equally but randomly to create a more balanced sound.
One thing that I super enjoy about this program is just meeting people and meeting like-minded students, like-minded faculty, and just being surrounded by essentially hundreds of people that have the same goals and aspirations as you do. And I find that the environment that creates is unmatched by anything else I've ever been a part of.
Our treated wall there, and all the walls are treated slightly differently. And this main large room, conceptually the design of it was so that we could set up a full big band and record them here in a very, very professional way, where we could have all of the horn players in this live room. And then we have two booths over here where we can roll the piano into one and have the drum set in the other and acoustic bass in the sound lock.
The isolation booths are made to be really versatile. They can be used for any manner of setup that you want, and you can get creative and put different instruments in there. For example, you could put drums in there and have the main band out here. Or if you notice the shape of this particular room, it's ideal for putting a grand piano in it. So you could isolate the piano in here, put the drums out here, and maybe a vocalist or guitarist in the other smaller booth over here. And each booth is treated a little bit differently in terms of the sound treatment. And they also have patch bays in every booth so that you're able to have flexible patching in the studio and patch things how you want to with the least amount of trouble. And you've also got these double doors on each booth, which help a lot with the sound isolation between the two rooms. So it's a great setup, really flexible, and gives you a lot of different options for recording in the studio space.
The selection of mics at MacEwan University is extremely extensive. Right here we have a beautiful AEA R44, which is a reissue of an RCA microphone from the 1920s. And we also have just pretty much all of the standard microphones that you'd find in a professional recording studio anywhere in the world, which really gives the students a great opportunity to try these things in a safe environment with equipment that is pretty much standard.
I think also it gave me a place to hone my skills in creating relationships, which is one of the most important parts about working in the industry. And it really allowed me to create those relationships in that community. And the industry is so small that I've already seen so much crossover in those relationships, which is really cool.
Okay, so we're going to head over into the control room where we have a beautiful API legacy console and a few students setting up our patches for today's session. By the way, our session today will feature MacEwan's new hire as head of drums. Dave Laing is going to come down and play some groovy drums for us, which is going to sound excellent. So we're going to walk through over to the control room. And so in here, we have 3 students working away extremely well, setting all the microphones, individual microphones, up into our API legacy console and then into Pro Tools, which is our main recording computer. Our main recording setup is Pro Tools. So we see the patch bay and this fantastic console. It's the first, we've got the demonstration mode on. That's so slick. Thanks, Nick. Is the first API console in Alberta, as a matter of fact. And it's an iconic console that many very, very famous records were made on. So we're very happy to have that. And we see all kinds of other gear here. So we tried to pick a little bit of everything so that students can be familiar with what they might find when they go to Nashville or wherever they end up, or stay in Edmonton and work at a studio here. And then we see Phil setting up the session in Pro Tools.
I rolled it down to a smile. She asked where these wheels heading. Can I sit in for a while?
Well, I'm almost.
I made room in my mind. I made sense of my car, and I warned her. Why I warned her, I couldn't take her far. All the wisdom, the gossip, it's endless. You'll find on the side of the road. Couches, kisses, people, the best things you'll find on the side of the road, on the side of the road.
So we're now standing in the music technology classroom, and as you can see, there's a lot of workstations for the students. So you can have a class full of students working with a teacher that will be teaching them and showing them how to use different music software, working on things like sequencing, mixing. We do ear training in here, and various the technological side of the music industry. And it's great because each workstation has a little keyboard, so they can do MIDI work with the keyboards. And they also have sound cards at the computers here, so it's just a really nice space for teaching the technology side. So now we're entering one of our audio suites here at MacEwan. So we've got a bunch of different little audio suites that the students can use to work on homework and their own personal projects in their own time. And it's great because they don't have to book the larger studio for those projects. They can come into these little audio suites and use the software and do their work here. So it's really nice. And this particular studio is set up for surround sound too, so you can do video work here, and you've got a nice digital console as well.
I decided to come to MacEwan for a few different reasons. One, I think has a pretty good reputation of some of the best musicians to cross Canada and the world have come out of this institution. And the second, this new facility that we have, that the university has invested in, the community has invested in, to help me to get through this and learn more about recording and an ever-changing industry, especially now.
So this is our entranceway into Studio B, the control room and the live room, but it's also treated, and there's also a patch bay, so we can use this as an ISO booth as well. We'll first go into the control room, which is a slightly smaller control room, and this year with COVID, we're not actually teaching in this room very much because the number of people allowed in here at once is smaller, and we can't accommodate a full class of 10 people. But nonetheless, we have a control room here with several monitors and some outboard gear, and another extremely famous, excellent console, the SSL here, is the console that most studios in Edmonton actually have. So students training here will be familiar with this console when they go out and work at various studios, Velveteen Audio, the audio department. All these studios in town have this console, so it's been really helpful with students that end up in placements in local studios, which I record, both of us record in whenever we get the chance, and we'd love to bring the students in, and we've had interns work at several studios in town, including the audio department. Okay.
So this is the main live room in Studio B, and it's a really nice room as well. As you can see, we've carried on that same kind of theme of having different types of coverings on the wall. So you have like some reflective areas here, you have more absorptive areas over there and against this wall. And that kind of gives you the opportunity to play with the room and have different instruments in different parts of the room for different sounds. And just like Studio A, we have another little booth over here. And again, this is so that you can isolate instruments like vocals, or you can even fit a drum kit in here if you want to isolate the drummer. And again, we have a patch bay in the booth here too, so that you can easily get your microphones from this booth to the control room so that you're able to manipulate the sound how you want to manipulate it. And it's also like Studio A, you can put headphones for the musicians in these booths. So they're able to wear the headphones and hear the music as it's happening live. And it makes for a really nice recording experience.
I think the biggest takeaways in the 4 years that I've been here have been that it may not necessarily be the institution that makes you the better person. It's you and the effort that you want to put into it. The institution has everything that you need resource-wise to succeed. But the thing that you really need to know is that it's you that is going to be growing and learning in this institution. So, focus on you.
Yeah, there's another video that I'll share on Blackboard of somebody demonstrating this with the R44, that ribbon mic, which is figure of 8, and they move the mic back and forth to show you your tonal options of the drum kit by using one mic and moving it back and forth. Right now, thank you, William, for the question, because my reason for picking the 414 was I wanted to have it in Omni, which on the
I drove her right to a turn. It was out of my way. She smiled a thank you goodbye, but then I heard her say, I made room in your mind, I made sense of your car.